knows the truth. I've called, as Galen said, for an investigation from the very start. And we know that people in politics sometimes appeal to the worst.
That's right.
In the electorate. They hope that you'll buy it. They hope that you'll believe things that you know not to be true in your heart, and you know not to be true by the facts. But this is not the first time that I or we have ever been challenged. Hampton is a place where awful lies go to die. You all have fought lies here in Hampton from the very founding of the Commonwealth of Virginia. They told us what women couldn't do. You crushed every single stereotype that has been given. They told us what African Americans cannot do. You crushed every single stereotype throughout our history. They tell us what our children can't do and how they can't learn. And we every day pour into them to make sure that they get a shot to rise and to achieve the American dream. And so I will say this. I was raised by a very strong woman. I am married to one, and now I'm raising one, and my 7-year-old daughter. And I promise you, if you read anything that you've seen that sounds outside of my character, it's because it is. And the only way they can bring me down is with a lie. But I promise you, I will stand firm in the truth. I will stand firm in support of every single person who is fighting to make sure that their families get a better future, more opportunity, educational opportunity, economic opportunity. I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to live the American dream in the way that I have been blessed to live it. And I will conclude with 2 very quick stories that actually have to do with powerful women. And this is Women's History Month, coming on the heels of African American History Month in February.
Her story.
Her story tonight. It is her story. I'll be very clear. So Galen just changed it. It is her story month. And I will tell you something about my mother, who some of you have met, but many of you have not. Her name is Charlene Fairfax. She was born Charlene Butler, her maiden name. And she, at the age of about 6 years old, was with my late maternal grandparents, her parents, and they were digging through some family heirlooms in a trunk. And it was her great uncle who had passed away some time ago. She saw a picture of him, some information about him. He, an African American man, had actually graduated from pharmacy school many years ago. And he never got to work as a pharmacist. He ended up having a very nice, wonderful career in government service and federal government in Washington, D.C., but had studied for many years and passed the boards and been certified to be a pharmacist. And so my mother, at the age of about 6, asked my grandparents, well, you know, why wasn't my great uncle ever a pharmacist? He studied, he'd done everything he'd been asked to do, checked every box, he worked hard, he played by the rules. And they told her that he was not a pharmacist because back then they didn't allow African Americans to be pharmacists. So despite the fact that he had done everything right, had done what was asked of him, had gotten to that moment, achieved that really incredible feat on his own, despite the odds, he still was denied that opportunity. And do you know what my mother, Charlene Butler, said at the age of 6? I'm going to be a pharmacist for him. And guess what? She went on to a 30-year career as a pharmacist. She had CVS Pharmacy. She now is the head of pharmaceutical policy in Washington, D.C. So that's the stock that I come from. The stock that said nothing is impossible. That's the woman who gave birth to me, who raised me, who, when my parents got divorced, moved us in with my late maternal grandparents in Washington, D.C. Both Howard graduates, grandfather World War II veteran, worked at the United States Postal Service for over 45 years, grandmother a nurse at Howard University Hospital for over 40 years. They took us in, helped raise all 4 of us, and that same mom, that same pharmacist, was able to work hard, save enough money to buy the home right across the street. She then was able to miraculously, with the help of so many people, put all 4 of her children through college and 2 of us through law school. God is good, and that is what's possible. We give people opportunity, and we rely on women to help carry the day and support our families and our communities. They help us to rise. And yes, absolutely. Galen said I can't get out here without talking about the Senate, the election, and voting. So let me just do that really quickly. As you all know, we have an incredible number of races. All 140 seats this year in the General Assembly are up for election. All 100 members of the House of Delegates, all 40 senators. There are primaries, of course, in June of 2019, so please come out and vote. Those are critical. And then in November, every single seat in the General Assembly will be up for election. And we are very closely divided right now. In the Senate, there are 21 Republicans and 19 Democrats. In the House, there are 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats. So these are razor-thin margins. And as president of the Senate, I get to break ties in the Senate when there are tie votes. And I am proud to say that in our last session last year, I was able to, when it came to a 2020 vote, break the tie for Medicaid expansion. So now 400,000 people have health insurance here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. These elections matter. These elections have consequences. So please get out and vote. Encourage others to vote. It is critically important. And here is what I will conclude with. Again, the truth shall set you free, and we know the odds, and we know the history, and we know the way that God has brought us so far. And He did not bring us this far to leave us, I can assure you. You all know that my last name is Fairfax. That's also the name, of course, of a county, the most populous county here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And many people were very interested, including myself and my family, about how I got my last name. Well, I learned the week of our inauguration, last January 2018, where my family's name came from. It was during that week that it was discovered in the old Fairfax County Courthouse, a manumission document that had freed my great-great-great-grandfather, Simon Fairfax, from slavery 221 years ago, on June the 5th, 1798. He was freed by a man named Thomas Fairfax, who was the 9th Lord Fairfax, for whom all of Fairfax is named, as one of the first 2 enslaved Africans that he ever freed as Lord Fairfax. Wow. And so they found the original document from 1798. My father got a copy of that document 2 days before my inauguration, and he gave a copy of it to me for the very first time, 20 minutes before I walked up the steps of the Capitol on Inauguration Day to take the oath of office as the 41st Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So I had that document tucked in my breast pocket as I raised my right hand to become Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. And so here's the power of truth, here's the power of perseverance, here's the power of overcoming odds and lies and challenges and everything that we all have always had to go through from generation to generation to generation. And we are not immune to those same challenges and lies and odds. But we also know that we can defeat them, because 220 years later, Simon Fairfax's great-great-great-grandson was being sworn in as the #2 in command of the very same state where he had been enslaved. Wow. God is good and everything is possible. The truth is all true. Thank you so much. We will win.